Welcome to the YouTube Dave's Island live show. We're coming to you live from Long Beach and in Lakewood. I'm excited to be here today again with you guys. And my name is Daniel Tim. I will be your host. So today we got some exciting training today with Dave Beery, as always, every 2 weeks on Saturday. One of the best handpan makers in the world and players. So I'm excited for what he's doing. But just to give you a little update on what's happening at Dave's Island, we have been really busy. Thank you to all our customers out there. We have a lot of demand for the handpans right now, and it's been pretty exciting time. I think because of COVID-19, everybody needs some good vibes in their life, and that's why we continue to do these classes, which is awesome. We're planning to have more handpan guests on from around the world. We're reaching out to a lot of the handpan players. So maybe if you're watching and you are a handpan player and you think you're good enough to be interviewed, give us a call. Also, just to give you an update on our products, since we've been having a huge demand on handpans, currently all our 11s are on back order. If you want to get one, you would have to back order it. We do have a couple of Luna Satins in stock, and also our Aris is on back order a couple of weeks. So if you're planning on getting a handpan, please make note of that, and we will try to get you one as soon as possible. So without further ado, I'm tired of talking. I want to bring on the great David Beery. Here he is, guys. Yeah, hey Dave, how you doing over there in Lakewood?
Hey Daniel, I'm good.
Good. Staying safe.
Thanks for the nice introduction there.
You're welcome. I'm excited. For all of those that are online too, the comments are available. If you guys have any questions you want to pose to Dave, definitely write in the comments and we will answer the question. So I'm going to give it up for Dave Beery. Anything for me, Dave? Everything's exciting?
I think we're good. Yeah, we're good to go. I've got a fun song to show you today.
Awesome. All right. Well, let me give you the screen.
It's from a TV show. You'll know it.
I'm going to give you the screen, and you're good to go. Wait, let me see. Go. Oh, my gosh. It's not working. Here we go. 4. There we go.
Difficulties. There we go. All right.
Yes.
Nice. All right, everybody. This is DII handpan class here. My name is David Beery. I'm Dave of Dave's Island Instruments, DII, of course. So thanks for tuning in. We're going to show you all sorts of fun stuff about the handpan today, and just like the beginning basics like we always have here at DII. We've been doing a lot of education of our customers and people that are interested in handpans because it's such a unique instrument, and you can't just go down the street to your local music store to get lessons for a handpan. So this is something we do for free just to kind of keep people engaged and also give them education on how the instrument is made, how you play it, and all sorts of other fun stuff like that. So first things first, if you're new to YouTube and you want to see our videos more regularly, or if you want to just be notified of when our videos are being presented or posted, you can click the subscribe button, the little red subscribe button. I think it's down there somewhere below the screen. Anyway, you click that red subscribe link or button or whatever it is. And then if you really want to manage your notifications, you can click the little bell next to that subscribe button. I think it's after you subscribe, the little bell shows up or something. And you can actually get little notifications on your phone that come down from the top that say, hey, Dave's Island Instruments is live, or Dave's Island Instruments just posted a new video, that sort of thing. So take a look at that. So if you've not been introduced to me before, again, I'm David Beery, and I want to give you like a short little history. I do this every time just for those people out there that are brand new. I started playing music, obviously, when I was in high school, or even earlier than that, back in the 80s. And I went to Cal State University Long Beach in the early 1990s. And when I went there, they had a steel drum program. Steel drums are a Caribbean instrument from the island of Trinidad and Tobago. And I was super duper head over heels about that, and I learned how to make them. So it was something that was very rare back then to have a steel drum band at a university or at any school at that point. And me and a colleague, Chris Wabish, we ended up learning how to make them on our own, just kind of like fiddling around in our practice rooms and our garages and that sort of thing. And eventually I learned how to make steel drums, and I made them for universities and schools throughout the country, sold them throughout the world, and to lots of individuals out there as well. So I've been tuning metal instruments for a long, long time. Around 2010 or 2009, even before that, I had several people approach me and say, "Hey, Dave, there's this new instrument. It's called a hang, H-A-N-G, hang drum, and it looks like a flying saucer. And I think it's tuned like a steel drum. Maybe you could learn how to make one." So I thought, oh, that might be fun. So I eventually got around to it. And when I made my first one and I put it in my lap and I played it, I realized, oh, I understand why people are so fascinated with this instrument. It's just a gorgeous instrument, and it's tactile, and you can touch it, and it vibrates, and it has all sorts of good feelings associated with it. So that's how I got started with making handpans about almost 10 years ago, or maybe a little bit longer than that, 10 or 11 years. And since then, it's just been a barrel of fun, and we've been meeting lots of new and fabulous people along the way. All right, so if you are absolutely new to the handpan, and let me just describe it to you very quickly here. It's also on the screen. You can see that there's an image that looks something similar to this one. This one's bluer color. The ones that are on screen are an almond color on top and kind of a golden color on the bottom. They have an assortment of notes on top. And the little pads that you see have names. So I usually typically call them notes, but the handpan community frequently calls them tone fields. So I call them tone field notes. And there's usually a big one in the middle, which is called the ding, D-I-N-G, the ding note, and it has the lowest sound. And then you also have the tone fields around the edge of the drum. And they start from a lower sound and go up to a higher sound, kind of in a crisscross circular pattern. That kind of thing. And I can't really see what I'm doing, so hopefully I hit all the notes there. Anyway, so you've got the tone field notes, these little things here on the notes that look like little indentations. Let me see if I can catch one in the light here. Right there. That's called a dimple. So indentation, sometimes you could say that, a dimple otherwise. Those are some names that people call them. There's basically a big dimple on the top of the ding note too. It's sometimes a different shape, different size, but it's also really considered a dimple. It's just pointed outward rather than inward. The bottom shell has a hole in it, and it's called the goo, G-U, the goo hole, and it produces a tone, like a bass tone. You can play this as an instrument all by itself. It's a pretty cool instrument to play. So you can flip your instrument over. A lot of handpans are now having notes on the bottom shell as well. This one has some bottom notes on it. And so now this one has top notes and bottom notes. So it's a really fabulous instrument, all sorts of opportunities for playing really fun music. All right, so if we want to get you started on how to play the instrument, say you've never played one before, or perhaps you're renting one from us, and you just want to learn a little bit more about how to get a really nice sound out of it. I usually use my fingers, my index finger to play. So what I usually do is just slap the note. And the real trick is that you want your finger to hit and come off of the note immediately. Strike and release immediately. If you strike the note and leave your finger on it, even for like a half a second, it's going to mute the note. Like that. So what you want to do is hit it and immediately come off. So my finger, I extend my finger, and it's semi-rigid, so that when I hit the note, it's almost like a spring, and immediately kind of springs off of the note. Another really fabulous way of learning how to do this is to use this fancy, fun little service bell here. So I'm sure you've seen these at hotels and that sort of thing. When you walk up to the hotel desk, if there's nobody there, there's a little bell. And you ring the bell, and somebody comes to help you. So what you can do, if you find one of these, or if you get one for yourself, and you're having a struggle getting a nice sound out of the handpan, basically all you're doing is you're going to hit the service bell, the little button on top, and try to make it ring. If it rings like that, then you're doing a good job. If you strike it and hold it for a second, the bell does not ring. To see how that works? Oh, that time it worked. Sometimes it works, sometimes, there we go. So you can see if you hit and release, the bell sounds, and if you don't, then it just kind of goes clunk. So that's a fun way to learn how to play the handpan notes. Another thing you want to be cautious of is not to curve your fingers while you're playing. So if you curve your fingers like this and kind of swipe, it tends to mute the sound of the note. There's a difference. You can kind of play with the tip of your finger to create like a soft muted sound with a curved shape. But again, you're coming immediately off of those notes. So sometimes people that have played piano have a kind of a curved shape to their hand because they were trained to have a curved shape of their fingers for the piano. And so they kind of grab at the handpan like this, but it's not really a grabbing motion. You just really want to plunk down on the note and then immediately come off. So normally to get people started in a class environment, when we have classes here at the store, I usually have them play 4 or 8 notes on the right hand, 4 or 8 notes on the left hand, and just go back and forth to try to practice just getting the sound out of the instrument. And we usually start on the ding note. So let me just show you quickly how that exercise goes. Okay, so you can see I was doing 4 on each hand, just back and forth. You don't need to go fast. You don't need to go super duper slow. What you're really looking forward to achieving is just getting the sound, a nice consistent sound. So I would actually, if I was a beginner, probably take it a little slower than I just had as an example there. So let's try it one more time. If you want to play along, you can if you have a handpan. Ready, play. Okay, so that's a simple exercise to get you started. If you want to expand on that exercise, then you can move to different notes. I usually start with the note on the right-hand side, the D, and the note on the left-hand side, the E. Actually, let me back up before I do this. Earlier, I talked about the handpan and the notes shapes and what it was made of. By the way, they're made of steel. Handpans are made of steel. This one's made out of a regular low-carbon plain steel is what they call it. We also have a model that's the golder color in the image that you see on the screen. It's the one on the bottom. That's called the RS handpan we sell, and it's made of stainless steel. Either way, they're made of steel. There's an arrangement of notes, and I think I talked about it maybe briefly, but let me just talk about it one more time. We've got the ding note in the middle, which is on this instrument a D. We tuned this to a scale we call sunset, the sunset scale. It's a D minor scale. Other handpan makers call that scale a Celtic minor scale, so you might have heard the word Celtic minor before. So it's got the D, A, C, D, E, F, G, and A. So you can see that on your screen as well. That's the way that notes are organized on the instrument. So when I say, when I'm playing that exercise that I was describing earlier, and on the right-hand side I'm playing a D, that's the D note. and on the left hand is the E. You can also think about these notes if you're not familiar with like letter names for music terms, musical terms. You can also count them. So we count them here at DII from the center all the way around the edge. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So on this instrument, we call this an 8-note handpan. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the D is number 4. The E is number 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to play number 4 and number 5 for the exercise, which is a D and an E. So here we go. We're going to do 4 on the right hand, 4 on the left hand. All right, I'm exaggerating a little bit with my motions so you can see my hands moving from one side to the next. If I was to play that on my own, just kind of more in a normal fashion, I might just have my hand might be positioned like this rather than coming down really high. Oh, is this Jeff? Did you say Jeff? Oh, hi, Jeff. Thanks for watching. Let us know if you have any questions. All right. So again, I was talking about how to play the handpan notes and the correct position. So I was just noting that my arms are kind of more flat when I play. So you don't want to have your arms angled like this with your wrist at a sharp angle as much as possible, because that doesn't really give you much freedom or relax. It also makes you feel not relaxed. So you want to feel relaxed when you play. So sometimes people have trouble playing the notes on the back side here because the wrist starts to get angled. So one thing I suggest is you can just angle your handpan down towards the front so that these notes are a little bit flatter on the top here. So that keeps your wrist a little bit flatter, more straight, and you can just use gravity really to help pull your arm down to strike the notes. I didn't really talk about how each of these notes is tuned yet, and let me just explain that before we move on. Some people say, Dave, do you use your finger to strike right in the middle of the note where that dimple is? And at first I wasn't sure, this a couple years ago, and then I figured out, yeah, I pretty much do aim for the middle of the dimple. And one reason for that is the way they're tuned. So each of these notes on the handpan is tuned with 3 pitches. And that's kind of the difficulty of making the instruments, is balancing all of those harmonics to work together in a beautiful way. So there's 3 harmonics, and the first one is called the fundamental pitch, kind of like the pitch on the bottom that's holding everything up, or the lowest pitch. And then we have one called the octave, which is on a piano. If you had a C on a piano, like middle C, and you went to the next C above it, those would be octaves. So C to C would be an octave. Then above that, we have a 5th harmonic. So on a piano, if you played C to C in the octaves, and then you moved from C, D, E, F, G, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, C, D, E, F, G. The G above that high C would be the 5th, and that's tuned on the note as well. So if I kind of just show you on this note here, you can see that it's an oval, right? And it's got a length. The length of the note is where the octave is tuned, and the width of the note is where the 5th is tuned. So when you play it in the center, all of those harmonics ring together in a balanced way. Okay? If you play towards the edge, you're going to get more of a harmonic sound from the octave. And if you play on the edge of the width of the instrument or the note, you're going to get more of the 5th harmonic sound. So you'll notice a lot of really good handpan players out there, they will be able to effortlessly play all of these harmonics and pull the sounds out of the instrument that they want to pull out at any time. So as a beginner, you typically want to just kind of play the center of the notes to get that nice full-bodied sound that you're looking for. Then later on, you can start experimenting with muting certain parts of the note. So here I'm muting the fundamental in the center, and then I'm playing the edge where the octave is. And I'm just getting the harmonic of the octave. And then sometimes you can get the fifth to ring out really nicely. There we go, that's a nice fifth there. La, la. It's way up there. It's like a whistling sound. So if you play in the center, you get the fundamental. All of the harmonics are being are sounding at the same time. I mute the middle. Now I'm getting the octave. You can mute the octave here if you want. I sometimes do it with my ring finger. I mute it here with one hand, and then my index finger taps on the fifth. So you get all of those harmonics out of one note, which is pretty fascinating. Another fun one to learn how to play is on the ding note, one of the fifth harmonic that's on the ding note. Sometimes you can make it bend. I call that a pitch bend. You can sort of do it with the octave also. So on the octave, it kind of goes up and back down. D-O, D-O. On the fifth, I'm pushing down with my left hand on a very specific spot here where the octave is tuned. And then I strike the fifth, and then I release with my left hand. So it's kind of like a 1, 2, 3 thing here. So you push down with your left hand, strike with your right hand, release with your left hand. So down, hit, up. Down, hit, up. It does take a little practice, and finding that little magical spot to make that happen with your left hand takes some practice and some learning. So sometimes it's easier to do it from the front side of the note. You can push down on the front and get the sound maybe better than you can on the back. Be careful that you're really kind of lining it up with the octave through the center of that note, through the length of the note, right next to the big ding dimple. If you get too far out towards the rim of that note, or if you get too far to the left or too far to the right, you start to mute the fifth harmonic that you're trying to make resonate. And so you are canceling out what you're trying to do. So ultimately, you're finding the node. I believe you're going to find the node at some point. Push down on the nodal point. Strike the fifth, release, and that's how you get that fun little pitch bend. So the pitch bend can be done with great effectiveness if you use it in a sparing way. Excuse me. Right, you can kind of throw it in between passages of what you're playing. So it's a lot of fun. So the pitch bend is fun. You can find the different harmonics on each of those notes and experiment with those. You can also, to some degree, bend some of these notes. I'm best on my left-hand side because my left hand pushes down with my left thumb, and then my right hand, you hear that? Kind of makes it go flutter a little bit like that. So what I'm doing is I'm pushing down on the edge of the note near the fifth area through the middle, and I'm striking the octave area so the octave resonates, and then I kind of roll my thumb back and forth and push somewhat with a degree of force to kind of create that little rocking sound, a little flutter. You can do it on the E usually too. Some notes react better than others. So it's kind of fun. Can't really do it here. It's not working there. So you'll find that your handpan, one handpan might work better than another handpan on certain notes, that sort of thing, just because they're all handmade and the notes are slightly different from one instrument to the next. All right, let's see. I just want to talk a little bit. Are there any questions out there? Daniel, is there anything else coming through? Okay, no worries. Let's see. Parts of the handpan. We talked about the parts of the handpan, striking the notes. I wanted to give you another little quick lesson on using the space between the notes. This is one of our favorite things to do in our classes. People usually get feeling really successful after they play this exercise. There's a space between the notes, and we call this the steel between the notes the interstitial metal or interstitial steel. It's just basically the steel between the notes. So the steel between the notes, the interstitial space, is curved in a way where it does not vibrate. So you want, as a tuner, the notes to vibrate in a very specific way, but you do not want the space between the notes to vibrate. It's kind of like a skeleton. So the hard skeleton between the notes is rigid, and you can strike it with your fingers to create kind of a slapping sound. So you can kind of compare that to the sound of a snare drum on a drum set. With the note in the middle, the ding note, you can use that as a bass drum. And then go back and forth. Sounds kind of like a drum set beat. Okay, so we have this little song that we call the Austin Funk, and I'm going to show you how that works real quick. So basically, we're going to have a repeating pattern. And then we have a little spot towards the end of the repeating pattern where we break it up and we play a C and a D 2 times like this. Okay, so go C, D, C, D. On those notes, if you were to count them, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So notes 3 and 4, or C and D, however you want to identify those notes. So on my handpan, it's left, right, left, right. So if you're at home with a similar handpan, you make sure that you have it placed in a way where you have a left and a right hand here. There are handpans that have different scales tuned to them, and so the C and D might be in different spots. So if that's your case, you can still do this exercise. You just need to figure out where the C and D are. So the 2 parts are this repeating pattern. We take a brief rest, and then we play the C-D little tail. Okay, so I'm going to play it all together now, so you can hear how it sounds. Okay, so that's the entire segment, the entire piece. And it's just really one of those fun things to get started with on handpan. Makes you feel successful. It has a rhythm to it. You can kind of rock your head to it. And the people in the room all kind of loosen up. They're getting ready for you to play and have a good time. So those are the basics of it. Let me just play it through a few times for you so you can get the feel for it if you're learning at home. So you'll notice there's a little rest between the 2 parts right here. So in classes, I usually have the people attending the class just lift their hands there so that everybody takes a rest at the same time. Lift. So as you lift your hands, you can also kind of just imagine that's the rest. A rest is a space between the music where nothing is being played. All right, so that's the Austin Funk. The cool thing about simple things like that is that you can incorporate them into more complex things. So instead of just playing that simple beat, you could add little nuances as you get better. So something like this. Right? So I started shifting the groove a little bit, started playing these little notes that kind of made it sound a little different than it was. And you can just explore and play around with ideas like that. Also, with the little tail end part, C, D, C, D, you could also try playing 2 notes at a time, like that. So what I'm doing there is I'm spreading my hand, playing 1 note with my thumb and 1 note with my finger. And the C, the note right next to it, above it, is an E. So C and E work together well. They harmonize. And then on the left hand, or my right hand side, I've got the D and the F, which harmonize well together. So instead of just C, D, you could play the harmonies together. Like that. Right? So that's one way you could play around. You could also use that space in a completely different way, something like this. So you can see I took the groove, and instead of just doing the left, right, I did a flourish from the top to the bottom of the handpan, just playing the scale. So that was a lot of fun. Speaking of scales, I don't think I ever worked with you on this part yet. We talked about how the notes are arranged and how they go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, from low to high. We talked about the note names, so D, A, C, D, E, F, G, A. But we actually didn't play an exercise of how to play those notes. So one of the exercises that I like to show the classes is starting on my left hand, or your left hand. On the ding note, you start the left hand and then move up the scale in an alternating way. So you're going to have left, right, left, right, left, right, left. I think it actually ends on your right. But either way, you're not going left, right, right, or left, left, right. You're not doing any, you're not duplicating each hand at any point during this little exercise. So what you want to do is play the ding with your left, then the next lowest note is the A. You play that one with your right. Your left hand goes to the C. Right hand goes to the D. Left hand goes to the E. Right hand goes to the F. Left hand goes to the G. Right hand goes to the A. And you are done with that scale. So let's just review that real quick. So left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. If you do numerically, you can, if you can think of it numerically, you think of it like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can also start from the top and go back down. In this case, you're going to start with your right hand and go back down and end on your left hand. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Okay, so one more time. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. If I was thinking numerically, it would start on 8 and go back down to number 1. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. You can combine those two exercises. You can go up, pause, and then come back down. Something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pause. Start again on your right hand, and then go back down. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Okay, so that's a nice exercise to get you started with just playing the scale, the natural scale that this handpan is tuned to. So as you get better, you could just play a little faster. Something like that. Now, if you want to combine them from the top note into one sequence, you can make it sound like this. So the only thing I did differently there was I didn't strike the high A, number 8, twice. I only struck it once with my right hand. So watch. It goes left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. No pause. I go immediately back to my left hand. So let me show you that one more time. So this time I'm not pausing and I'm not starting again on my right hand. I strike the high A and immediately go back to my left hand. So basically your alternating hands just continues alternating. There's no doubles at all. You go immediately back to your left hand there. And that's kind of a fun thing to play. It sounds very drifty. All right. At this point, some of you might have been getting it. Some people might be struggling a little bit with the touch. Like I mentioned, I've been using my index finger to produce the sound that I like to hear. You don't have to use your index finger. You can use your thumb. Some people use their thumbs. And they like the thumb sound better than the finger sound. Some people use their middle finger, etc. So find the finger that works best for you. I kind of don't think you should play with multiple fingers at a time. So sometimes people will slap it with like a full hand. To me, that's a little bit harsh somehow, too heavy. So I like to use just one finger at a time. But you know what? If it works for you, go for it. So just however you want to play the handpan to make it effective and sound good to your ears, I think you should go for it. Of course, you can always explore different methods and different techniques to get different sounds out of your instrument. So that's one thing that is also fun to do with your hands, and the exercises we worked on today is you can use all of these exercises that I showed you today with different fingers. So rather than just using your index finger, going back and forth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you could switch fingers. You could go to your thumbs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You could play it with your middle finger. You can even go over to your pinky if you want. You never know. It might be a thing that you need to do at one point to use that little finger to play something. It is a kind of like a lighter sound, and it does make your playing look kind of exciting on screen because your hands are fluttering about. So there you go, playing with my little finger. So go ahead and explore all of your fingers and all ways that you can to bring out different aspects of how the handpan sounds. It'll make it that much more fun. And it makes the performance look that much more fun too, because things are changing that you're doing and people pick up on those little changes. All right, so I think that kind of gets you started. It's usually what we do with the classes is just give them some introductory exercises like that. So if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments, even after the video is done. Like if you're watching this on Tuesday or Wednesday or something, if you have any questions for us, feel free to put them in the comments. You can also log into our website, www.davesislandinstruments.com. You'll find us there. We've got a chat box that you can chat with us on. You can contact us with email, info@davesislandinstruments.com. And you can also give us a phone call, 562-444-5198. So we would look forward to hearing from you, and hopefully we can get you started with a handpan as soon as possible and make you or get you to play some really wonderful music and relax and enjoy. Let's see. Are there any other questions, Daniel? Did you see anything come in?
Mute myself. Guido Den says you look really intense, but I think you were just focusing on the.
I'm very intense.
Here, let me bring me back here real quick. I think we're on scene 3. Yeah. So awesome class, Dave. Exciting times right now. I love doing these live shows because I believe we can reach a lot more people. Don't you agree? Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I didn't have my gain up
Worldwide.
here. Worldwide. It's exciting. We have Jeff Brown. He was mentioning you were playing the 11, and he was mentioning he likes the. I asked the question on what DII handpan everybody likes, and Jeff says he likes the 11. He's looking at the 11. So.
Oh yeah.
So it's
great.
Pretty
cool.
He likes the options of the bottom notes and stuff like that. So.
Absolutely.
Right. And also for those of you guys out there, we are, I know we're going through the COVID-19 thing right now, and some of the restrictions are lifted. So we are taking in-person appointments at the store if you guys want to come in and check out some handpans or ukuleles. We've been having quite a few people asking us to come in. So if you're local, you can actually come in and check them out. Anybody have any questions out there? I think we're going to be finishing up here pretty soon. Dave, you got any words for us right now?
Just go out there and enjoy your handpan. Go sit under a tree, find a nice park somewhere.
Yeah. And
just enjoy it and have a good time.
All right. And I know we've been struggling. Carrie just mentioned that we do have rentals too. So if you guys are actually thinking about getting a handpan and this is your first time, I know this is a fabulous instrument. So anybody getting one is going to be exciting and puts a smile on everybody's face. But you can actually try them out on a rental. And if you rent for 3 months and you decide to buy, we do have a program where we can take that 3 months that you paid for the rental and put it towards your purchase. So good program to try out, and I know that everybody wants to have a handpan.
Yeah.
Also, I know Dave's been working hard. Dave, you've been working hard on the handpans, and there's a lot of stuff going out there. So it's a pretty exciting time. I love it. And a lot of innovations, stuff like that. Vector Scope Entertainment says hi to us, and they are loving the live broadcast. We are loving it too. We like doing this stuff.
Hey, Vector Scope. Oh, I know who Vector Scope is.
Do you know who Vector Scope is? Nice. But I'm trying to think of anything else that's happening. Oh, yeah, next week we do have a ukulele class. And actually, since we're ending up right now, I forgot that we used to do this, and I'm just going to mention to you, Dave, when we used to have the Saturday classes in our shop, and the people that actually came in, we gave them 10% off on any handpan purchases or ukulele purchases. So I don't know. It's up to you, Dave. Anybody that's watching right now, if you haven't got a handpan, I want to say, can we give them a 10% discount?
Sure, let's do it, man. If they're logging in, watching the show.
All right. So for those of you that have watched so far and are still on, I'm going to say the code, and you guys got to remember it, all right? So I'm not going to write it down. I'm just going to say it. So hopefully you're listening. And for 10% off, if you do not have a new DII handpan, or if you need an ukulele, I'm going to extend it to the ukulele stuff. Your code word is holiday, just as it's spelled. Holiday. Eric Cushing says hi. Holiday. So H-O-L-I.
What is it? H-O-L-I-D-A-Y?
D-A-Y, yeah. Just as it's spelled. Holiday. Okay?
Nice.
So, and if you guys leave your email on... Oh, now someone already... I wasn't going to write it down, Carrie, but oh well. Yeah, there it is. Coupon code holiday. And if you like, you guys can leave your email, and we can email that to you too if you guys need that. So cool. It's an exciting day today. Let's see, what else do we got? Anything else going on, Dave?
I'm good.
You're good? All right. Well, I'm excited, you guys. If you guys don't have any questions right now, let's see. Wait. Angel says, this was awesome. Thank you, Dave. And I will be purchasing an 8-note handpan I'm renting right now. That's awesome. So cool.
Awesome. Great to hear from you, Angel.
Yeah. So not only do you get some good entertainment, but you also get a discount if you watch the show. And don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, do all that good stuff. And check out our website for our next events. I know we've been slacking on updating the events, but this month we will. There's a lot of exciting stuff coming up, and I'm excited for what we're doing right now. So, everybody, Dave, thank you very much for your time. I know you have been really busy, and just taking an hour just to share with everybody is just so awesome. So, and everybody's
happy to do it.
Yeah. So, I think that's it for now. Everybody have a great Saturday. Maybe leave us with a little tune, Dave. That'd be kind of cool.
Oh, sounds good. Yeah, we can do that. All
right. So enjoy a few seconds of some nice vibes, because I think we need it out there. All right. Enjoy, you guys. Have a great rest of the day.